Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fantastic episode. You might be wondering, hey, where's, I don't know, his friends? Is that what you call Tyler and Sean? I wouldn't call them that personally. I'd call them good friends. See, they thought I was about to diss them. No, but unfortunately, Tyler is at his home. He lives a little far from the studio, and we're no longer recording the podcast on days that he can make it. So we're going to get him on Zoom calls very soon. But unfortunately, I don't know the technology for that at all yet, really. I mean, I know it's not complicated, but I wasn't prepared to have to do this. And unfortunately, Sean got sick today. So now I'm like stumbled and I was like, hey, why don't I do a one-man show? Which would be freaking epic, guys. Anyway, I'm Aiden. That's right. You know, a boy really can miss his cohorts every now and then. And you're listening to Podcast Minute Talk Show. Yo, what's up, everybody? We are back. I guess the theme of today is to getting to know the real Aiden, because I am unstoppable. I can go on forever, and unfortunately, it's my job to have to go on forever. If you're listening and you're like, where's my Sean? Oh, I'm sorry, but he just couldn't make it. He was sick, and what am I to say other than get well, friend? But more than that, Sean, if you're listening, can you cover your ears? I'm with you guys. Get a load of barnacles. Sick? This man has more freaking calcium in his bones and vitamin D in his body than anybody else. There's no way this motherfucker could get sick. So, Sean, you can uncover your ears. Anyway, he's full of shit, basically, is what I was going on about, guys. But, I've never hosted a podcast before. Maybe this will be so amazing that it'll lead to a spin-off podcast, and maybe even a movie deal or something down the line. Who knows? I mean, anything could happen in 2020, man. We've just gone through a major pandemic. It was poggers. That's my new favorite word, by the way, is poggers. I'm like late to the train, which I think is why I like saying it so much, because it just feels. It was like felt terrible before, like hearing that, but now it feels even more terrible because it's like crossed another level. Like it's kind of irrelevant. And so now it's my new favorite word. So I do call things poggers now. I am team poggers. Let's go poggers. And you know what isn't poggers, everybody? No, Nut November. That's right, guys. It's November. It's that time of the year. And unfortunately, people still think it's funny to make No Nut November memes. I don't know. It's the beginning of November. I can't predict that. So maybe it's not the case. But if my predictions, if the early signs are correct, then that means there will be a small amount of people or something that try and cash in on this last No Nut November, because I believe it dies after this, because I am here. I'm canceling it. No Nut November, guys. It is canceled. This is the start of it all. It's obviously going to take a while. I can't cancel this November's, but if we work hard enough, guys, work fast enough, I believe that we can get this this NNN, baby, this NNN canceled. I don't know, I wish I could tell you, but unfortunately, I don't know how much manpower we need. I think it's a lot, which is why I'm calling everybody. We need your help. We need to cancel No Nut November. It's just not funny. It was funny. It was in 2018. Let's be real. It was pretty funny. It kind of came out of nowhere, and it was like, ooh, that's kind of gross. That's kind of funny. Guys ganging together to avoid nutting and some retaliation for girls. That's pretty funny. It's pretty stupid, and that's great. 2019, it was like, okay, yeah, like since it was a seasonal thing, it had a month attached to it, it kind of came back, and it was still kind of funny. There was some good new No Nut November work added to the mix. I'll admit, even we jumped on and we did another No Nut November video. I have not watched that video in a long, long time because, frankly, I don't think No Nut November is a funny concept anymore. I've given up on it because it is a seasonal thing and people can just keep bringing it back and it just ruins it. It's like The Office. It's like perfect example, The Office. Another great example, Podcast Minute Talk Show. They let it go on so long that even on now I'm the only one here. It's Aiden only forever, guys. Just kidding. That's not true. Your boys will be back very soon. Anyway, like I was saying, No November sucks, and we're done with it. So I'm not very popular on Twitter. Neither is the show. I have not figured it out yet. But if we can somehow take it over, so go to the @Woman Talk Show Twitter. I don't know. Tweet hashtag No November is canceled. Actually, don't even give it attention. But still, throw us the occasional favorite. Used to be called a star. But we're moving right along. And speaking of moving, I just wanted to say, shout the freaking out to you guys for listening, for freaking reviewing the page on podcasts. Apple Podcasts is what it is. Sorry, I was gonna say iTunes. But thank you for that. I've read them. They're pretty fucking funny and stupid, and they're like a ton of 5 stars. I feel like there was 1 star now, but I cried over it. I got over it. Thank you to everybody who has done that. And thank you today. I asked everybody for some submissions, because I was feeling a little nervous. I got to host this podcast by myself. So I went on the 1 Minute Talk Show subtext, which is a phone number we have. You can add it and, you can get little fun freaking tidbits from me and the rest of the guys. And we include it in episodes. I'll ask for help on how to title things, or we're even doing episodes now where we include people's answers and replies and mold it into the plot. You'll see it's going to be poggers. Perfect word. Anyway, that number is 1-917-717-6963. If you missed it, I'm pretty sure there's a replay button on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and it goes back 15 seconds. I don't feel like repeating it. We're moving on. So anyway, I've had an okay weekend. It was Halloween. Isn't that interesting? Halloween passed. It doesn't feel like fucking any time has passed. Like, it doesn't feel like this year has happened. Like, I spent the first half of it just watching the days go by with nothing significant, molding Easter as April and blah blah blah. It just didn't feel like it. And even up until Halloween now, it just really we put up the decorations for the set and we did the little Halloween episode. But honestly, it just kind of felt like we just jumped in or whatever, and just did it for the trend almost. I feel like Halloween didn't actually happen other than on the night of, and it felt like everyone was just playing pretend Halloween. Isn't that weird? But anyway, I went to a get together with our camera guy Dave, who is normally our fact checker. Right now, we're just going all 100% correcto for me, baby, because I got no one here. Anyway, like I was saying. What was I saying? We were talking about the party, the Halloween party, baby. No, it wasn't a party because we're still in a pandemic, but we did go to a friend of ours' house. Not many people there. I probably shouldn't expose this information, but it's a pretty good story. Not really that many people there. Literally just me, Dave, and then this girl and her roommates. But these girls, two of the most... And this story has a good point. It's a great story, and it's been on my mind for days. The two probably most woke girls of probably girls I know at the moment. Literally, super woke girls. I don't trust girls anymore, man, because they were all over my boy Dave, man. Woke girls, all about don't freaking blah blah blah, and they were all over my boy Dave. And it was weird. This is what's weird to me about girls, and this is where I'm getting to. They were there was 2 girls, and they were both just acting like they weren't both on top of him, feeling my boy Dave up, as many like to do. But they both knew they wanted something, and they weren't being fighty about it. They weren't glancing or whatever or being super petty. They were just acting real casual about it. But it wasn't like they were into that either. Like, it wasn't like they were both trying to get in on it, because they were like, one of them was separately talking to me and like, oh, Dave needs to make up his mind. Which I was like, you're at your apartment, man. Like, somebody's gonna have to invite Dave into a room. He's not gonna invite himself. That's kind of rude to pick. But anyway, like I was saying, what was I saying? I was talking about, I'm losing track, guys. It's really late, by the way. It is super duper late. It's like freaking, what time is it? It's like midnight. I got here at like 8, the studio. I got here at like, oh, I kicked the light. I got here at like 8. But then I had to like clean up the place a little bit because we just had to change the whole setup, and that's been taking forever. But it's been poggers, so that's good. But I just like was trying to figure out what I was gonna do and setting up the whole podcast by myself. It took a little while. Your boys got a little slow. Sipping on chai tea. Anyway, my main point of the story is that girls are canceled. Just like No Nut November, girls are canceled. They are no longer on the list because I can't trust them anymore. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I can't figure it out. They both didn't talk to Dave the next day, and they also weren't like even subconsciously like upset at each other. Or if they were, it was on an unreadable level that I don't even think other females could read based on word from other females. I don't get it. And also, my final thing, and really, really not the main point, but a point. Sometimes I add words, I'm trying to stall because my brain moves slow sometimes. I'm ADD as fuck. Anyway, the best point of this all, guys, the greatest point of it all is that guys are just the bestestest. They're better. Hold the phone, before you go try and cancel me, guys. I have a point. We're canceling. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a cancel guy. I've just canceled 2 things. So don't try and cancel me yet. What I'm saying is, homies, we already know. We already know when we go into it, like, who's trying to get who. Like, and we're trying to freaking help out. You know what I mean? We're like freaking probably tossing the dudes into the situations on the girl they're trying to freaking flirt up, and even if they 2 guys that don't know each other but after the same girl, one of them will scare the other off or something. I don't know, or at least be mad, or somebody will back away. Like, something's gonna happen. Like, that would never escalate because it'd be weird. It was interesting though. I really enjoyed it because I got to see something new. It's like seeing Avengers Endgame for the first time. I was like, man, I'm never gonna see something like that again. And that's pretty much what it was all about. So far, everybody, we've canceled females? We've canceled, and we haven't canceled all females. We've just, well, you know what, guys, we're gonna play it safe. So we are gonna cancel all females today. I will put that on like a temporary, like that's the case for now, but I will review it, I'm sure, in the coming years, and make like a finaler decision. And try and see if I can like subcategorize it to like figure out pinpoint what kind of, not what kind of, just like the girls that do that, I guess. But for now, let's play it safe, guys. So, on my main point, we've canceled the females, and we've canceled, what was it? No Nut November. So it's just a regular November, guys, and it's boys. It's a regular guys November, which I think is really nice. Anyway, how was everybody's Halloweens? While we're on the subject of Halloween things, speaking of that party, Dave and I's costume fucking killed. So basically, we have like a bunch of costumes here in the studio for whatever. I don't know, all these fucking crazy videos we did. We just did a episode that I got us a Master Chief. I'll just spoil it. I don't care, man. People are gonna Nah, I'm not gonna spoil it. All right. Anyway, that's what I'll leave it to. We filmed the Master Chief thing, and you'll see when you actually see it. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be funny. What I'm saying is we have a ton of costumes, and one of the ones we have is an orange astronaut jumpsuit. That's what it is. Sorry, I forget my words sometimes. That's show business, baby. Anyway, it's an orange spaceman jumpsuit, and so I threw that on. I printed out some communist symbols. We also had a World War II soldier uniform, printed out some more communist flags, stapled them on over on the space costume, put them on the other thing. Then me and Dave, we iced ourselves out. We look fresh, man. We freaking got the watches on, man. We look cool as fuck. It wasn't real ice, but nonetheless, it was fresh. I believe. Who knows though? Could have been hot. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Anyway, guys, it was anyway. What the final product was? I was that dog that they sent up in space, and Dave was like a Soviet space program guy, and it killed. It was awesome. Stop your clapping, guys. I know. I'm cool. That's show business, baby. What am I always saying? I said it twice now. You should have heard it the first time. But really, again, like I said, Halloween doesn't feel like Halloween, and it literally we threw it on because we filmed that Saturday. We filmed the episodes that I mentioned earlier, and one of so then after we finished filming, I just like put that together with Dave, and then we went over to the place later that night, and oh, also, I did like my dog makeup with Sharpie. It was awesome. I felt like a true. It's just good to know that I could be a makeup artist. If talk show hosting ever falls through, I can professionally do makeup because the dog nose look great. You can go on my Instagram and find that if you really need to see. But hold your applause. Don't just comment the clap emoji. Like I know I got it already. It was poggers. I know I'm a poggery kind of guy. But like I'm saying. Like we're pulling through, like we're pushing through, we're getting through this. It doesn't feel like Halloween, and that makeshift costume was kind of cool though. It was kind of fun. It was like we're pretending it's Halloween, and although I said that earlier, like negatively, like it feels like we're pretending. It was kind of like when I don't know in the Charlie Brown movie when they like make Thanksgiving with the popcorn and shit. It just felt like that to me. Like we're like fucking putting on our little show and pretending it's Halloween, even though I wouldn't dare open the door for any little kids trick or treating. Ew, what the fuck? Like, I wouldn't let why would you? I don't know. I just would not let my kid go trick or treating of all things, like house to house to house. I don't know why anyone would. I'm thankful that there's like a door on my apartment or whatever. There's like a fucking door that goes and then a hallway that actually leads to like our front door, so nobody could have gone. And then I think I wasn't even there that night anyway. But like, if I had a kid right now, it's a good time. It's a good thing. It's a good time to not have a little kid. Okay, it's a great time to not be a dad, but especially not be a dad to a child. Because if I were a kid right now, if I were a parent, I would not know how to tell my kid, dude, you're not trick-or-treating. You're not bringing in shit into my house. And like, you know what I mean? Like whether you're like pro or anti, like believing it, even though it's clearly a very real thing. So that's whatever. But obviously you're talking about like how serious it is, even though it's pretty serious and incredibly serious. We got to admit, man, like just like better be safe than sorry, is it really a good idea? Like it is more sanitary to not go pick up candy from house to house. Everything feels a little grosser since the coronavirus. Like I just don't like touching things like I used, like in stores and shit anymore. Like it's only the thing that I'm getting. Like I don't want to touch any other shit. I don't know, man. It's like psychological, but the main point of it all was it's like the Charlie Brown thing, and it's awesome, and it's poggers. I think I've been saying the main point a lot. I think that's kind of the main point of this episode is like saying the main point, saying anyway, or saying guys. I guess those are my stalwarts. Or my Star Wars. But I did see some costumes that were very terrible on like TikTok and stuff, which is fine if you just have your little makeshift costume, you know what I mean? But it was like I saw this one of people trying to be, I don't know, you've probably fucking seen it. It's like spread everywhere, but it was like these guys trying to be like Scooby-Doo, the Scooby-Doo gang, the mystery gang or whatever. They're called that, right? If I'm wrong, I'm going to cry. Dave, can you fact check? That's right, he's not here. But the mystery gang, that's what it is. Or it feels like that's not it. It just doesn't feel right. Am I thinking of Mike Tyson's Mystery? Am I confusing it? What is it called? Fucking whatever. And like they were just kind of wearing like weird colors that like some of them were related to the character, some of them weren't. And it was just like, if that's your thing, whatever, man. But the audacity to make a TikTok to the What's New Scooby-Doo theme, a TikTok where you're dancing and flexing your costume, the audacity, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I mean, after all, is it really a flex-worthy thing? I would say no. and you weren't flexing dancing. You were flexing the costumes. You weren't. You were just kind of like showing the costume. You weren't like doing some cool stuff where it's like, okay, they're dancers and they kind of got in the theme for the song. So that's why that's canceled. Oh, my sound is on. Oh, well, guys, so today's episode is also featuring my text messages because we're just rolling through it, man. Why would I stand up and mute it? Why would I do that? So, anyway, guys, what was the main point? I forgot about that last main point, but we canceled something, and that was, what was I just talking about? We canceled bad costumes in TikTok. Those are canceled now, they're over. Uh, what else? What else is popping, guys? We're rolling through this one man show. We're steaming through. We're piling through it. What else is popping? We've got well, you know what, boys? We've got the motherfucking election. The motherfucking election, boys. The motherfucking election. It's tomorrow. For anybody who's listening right now, like outside the window or anything. But for everybody who is listening, happy yesterday was when the election was. Yesterday. Sure. So I feel as though I can add like no commentary towards what's happening. And honestly, I don't really know. Like, I thought I was keeping up well with it, around the time of the first debate. But since I've just been falling out, because, like, I'm having a hard time keeping up, like, what's looking good, what's looking bad. It's just felt like everything's gone rogue. It's rogue. That's that. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That's what it is. That's episode title for every. No, it's not. I'm not gonna let that be the title. It's gonna be something about Nut November, I think, because that's what I thought earlier, and I feel as though my God is right on this one. I don't know. We're cruising right through. We're bruising, baby. We're cruising for a bruising, and we're cruising for that political talk. What can I add to the game? What can I add? I, who am I voting for? I really want to stray away from this because I don't want to be like I'm implying my opinion. So maybe I won't answer that, but I will. And I didn't even want to vote because I think the Electoral College is bullshit and stupid. And New Jersey is the state I reside in, although we filmed the show in New York City. But, and they're going to go blue, and they're always freaking going to go blue. So whatever. My vote, and either way, my vote is freaking meaningless because it just doesn't even count because some fucking guy in Idaho's vote is like 5 times as powerful or whatever. But anyway, I obviously would not vote for Donnie J. Trump, although I don't want to get political. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm hating. I do not like the man. And I hope you can respect that, I'll respect your opinion to love him. I don't respect the people who are just like crazy. Not even crazy about him, but like legitimately crazy, doing crazy shit. Crazy shit's happening. People are trying to block people from fucking entering New York or some shit, to getting on the parkway so that they can't vote or something. It doesn't even make sense to me, but it's a weird day. Tomorrow's going to be weird. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm hoping it goes poggers. I'm probably, most definitely 1,000% not going to try and come in here today because it's probably going to be a mess. I mean, it's just a busy day. And also, why would you vote on election day? Not mailing it in, like going to the booth. Like, genuinely, you get to do it in the mail. It's so much easier. Like, why would you want to wait online? I don't get that, guys. I don't get that. It just seems silly. It seems odd. I would say so. Because you could just save so much time and energy. It is truly inexplicably easy. And there's people that are just like, yeah, no, I'm voting on, like, so many people. And even then, you could mail it in then, I'm pretty sure. We're not going to know on November 3rd, right? We're not going to know for sure, at least. I don't know if they're already gathering them. Maybe they'll have, like, that idea because that's how the freaking system, electoral boy, works, right? But who knows, man? They're all just projections now anyway. When we know on the night of, it's not actually the case. Some shit about Al Gore, man. I was talking about this, like, 3 days ago. But now I'm kind of just hosting my thing. I'm on the fly. So, what if I lean back, But then I'm so, hello. But it's so comfortable. Oh, man, you guys, I wish I could lean back like that, but we're leaning forward because we're powering through. So, no, I'm not a big fan of him. I think he's kind of a wacko, and, you can say, like, people can be like, oh, well, Biden is what. We're not talking about that right now. I'm talking about I don't like the guy. I don't like the Donnie guy. I don't like him. He's a little bit of a bad person, and he's kind of wacky, but he's a great freaking whatever influence on people, man. Respect. Ah, I acknowledge the grind. I don't know if I can say respect because I just don't really like you. You're just kind of like, not a fan. Let's just put it that way, and we'll move on from talking about stuff like that because honestly, this ain't a politics show. It's a 1 minute show. That's not a minute because it's not a 1 minute show. It's a podcast 1 minute show. That's not a minute. Thus, we took out the name and the actual title of the podcast. So, what's everyone up to tonight? You know, I'm hosting a podcast. It's going swimmingly. No, but it feels a little lonely. I could use a little bit of company. If anybody wants to just stroll by, I'll put my geographical location at the bottom of the screen. If you're listening on Spotify, close your eyes. It's like this. You'll see it. If you're driving, don't worry about it. Put the car on cruise control. If you don't have that feature, I'm sure you can predict for a good enough time. It will take hours to fully read the text. But anyway, we're moving on. We're talking about politics. We're talking about history right now. Right now is a really weird time. Like it really feels like we're just watching like big history. Because there's like time where there's just like not, there's like so many presidents that kind of like come and go. I feel like, who can really name all freaking 45? I don't know, man. I haven't paid attention to America in a while. I've been bored of it. But anyway, who's really naming them all? You know that you got the big ones, the significant ones, and this is right now. It's a big, like I feel like a weirdly. I mean, it's a crazy election. People are acting fucking nuts. It's a huge protests and all this other shit going on with things like the police. But it's also like just a weird time. Like we're all in this crazy pandemic. And while we didn't have the technology at our disposal enough to like necessarily prevent it or prevent it early enough, we did have enough like resources to massively slow it down to where we're all kind of just like at a livable point. We all, as in like the majority of the world, everybody's working. It's not like everybody's unemployed, although the unemployment rate is up. A lot of the jobs were able to adapt. So it's like we still have shows being made, and stuff like that. We still like everybody's still kind of like living their lives, except now we're like living it in a weird way. We're living in this pandemic, and like all media now just like references this as if it's like nothing, you know what I mean? Like South Park, like obviously they were like playing into it with the pandemic special, but like they were like them all wearing masks and stuff. It just feels so like not even like a gag. Like everybody's just like that's how everybody is, and like using masks. Like we do mask jokes on 1 Minute Talk Show, and it's just like it's like just a part of our culture and world now. Like it was just me being like, yeah, I always wear a face mask. Like that would be like. That would hit differently if this pandemic didn't happen, because then it would like kind of like make like less sense. It would be like odder, so it kind of might have been funnier. I don't know. You could say that, but it would like not like identify right away, I guess. Sometimes I'm bad with my words. Sometimes I stumble. Sometimes I don't slur, baby. I only say clean words, and I'm only trying to keep that niceness, that respectness. I'm trying to get groovy with it. We're keeping rolling. We're keeping rolling, and we're moving, and we're grooving right along. Because it's the 1 man show episode, guys. It's the Podcast Minute Talk Show, spectacularly 1 minute spectacular. Let's see. Let's think about it. Let's think about COVID. I had an idea for an episode of the show, 1 Minute Talk Show. It wasn't like I was like all in love with the idea. I just kind of thought of it and I was like, oh, that'll be funny. And the concept was like a joke about Canada. It was like, oh, Canada is so forgettable that we all forgot to tell them about COVID. And, or, we're like, yeah, it's not that they didn't get the disease. They got the disease. They just didn't know, and nobody told them because just no one was paying attention. We just all forgot, and we're sorry, like everybody. But I guess it wasn't that good of an idea. So if you're listening and you're like, that idea sucks, I do know this now. I threw it around. I texted to Colin. He kind of just sent some random other idea back. He didn't acknowledge it, which isn't a bad thing, man. I just think like, he wasn't feeling it maybe or something. And then, I told Sean, and he kind of gave me like or something like that. He wasn't excited about it. I want that jump on that idea. I think I did the same thing to Tyler. Same thing. So thankfully, my boys, my homies, they came in. And that's that's the main point of this podcast, is that the homies got your back, baby. Shout out to the boys. Shout out to S. Kane, Sean motherfucking Connery Kane. That's not his middle name. It's Williams, guys. William. I'm losing steam, everybody. I'm tired. No, what time is it? It's after midnight. I know that much. We're getting tired here. I'm gonna turn off. I'm gonna just stumble here. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna put on the worst podcast you've ever seen. So I want to lose my reputation that I don't even have. What was I talking about? I was talking about the world. I was talking about the world post COVID, the world post COVID, or the world current COVID. Remember when the world, like right now where we're in, like it feels like there's like main topics. There's like fucking COVID. There's Trump and Biden, or the politics. There's like mass, like CDC shit, like all of that. Like those are the main topics. Remember when like 2 years ago and last year, for like a whole I feel like from like 2017 to 2019 especially, just even though it was kind of building up for a while, just like was just straight up Marvel, like Marvel, like all it was. It just felt like Marvel just had so much steam, and then Infinity War, and then Endgame, and then it just like kind of lost. I think because of the whatever, obviously the pandemic and Black Widow getting delayed. I wish they just like released that mother effer on Disney Plus or whatever, because they're doing that for all the other boys, or no, they're not. They're because Mulan did terrible. But I feel like maybe if they just did it, I think if they did it direct to video or whatever, VOD, where you like they put it on all the streaming sites, I think that'd be baller. But they won't do it because they're greedy and they're waiting for theaters to open up. Well, sorry, Disney. I gotta move up, boys. Maybe I'll lower my chair. See, if I lower my chair, I'll not look good on camera. I think that was the reason I raised it. Ooh, now should I lower my microphone? That'll suck for you guys, won't it? I might just do it. No, guys, we're fighting. We're fighting the power. We're fighting the people in charge. And we're fighting here in the studio. What are we fighting exactly? We're fighting a mouse, I think. So a couple weeks ago, my buddy Sean Kane, you guys know him. He hosts this podcast with me. I think we've been moving the set around. I think when we were doing it, he noticed, he thought he saw a mouse, and then I feel like we all did. We heard it, and then it like disappeared, and then we all thought we made it up. But today I was in this little room where we keep a lot of our equipment, and I was cleaning it up, and I heard scuffling like crazy. Like I was like, and I can't see everything, like, because it's a lot of stuff in the back. So I'm like, there's a fucking mouse in here. I can't kill that thing. Until I see it, I'm kind of scared of it because it come at me from any sight, and I don't trust it. Right now, I'm sleeping with one eye open. I'm sleeping with one eye open, and I've also got my, what is it, when you don't want to get the noose on you, like your hand up to your eye or something. You know how we be. We be rolling. We be going right through it, guys. We got the mouse in the office. What else? What else are we freaking vibing with, guys? Guys, where are we at here? Where am I going with this? Okay, I'm gonna fucking zone out with the fucking trying to host talk for a second. we are rolling right through this episode, guys. We're making great time. We are so en route. We are totally gonna make this destination. We're gonna get there before they close. This is great. You're doing great. If you're listening while you're driving, keep it on, bro. I hope you're enjoying this, man. This is my first. Whoever's listening while driving, everybody who's not listening while driving, feel free to plug your ears to scream at the top of your lungs. Whatever you must do. It's okay. But anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about something. We were talking about the person who's driving. And that's, you've got this, man. Wherever you're going, you will make it. Whether you make it in time is irrelevant. So what if you don't make it to the hospital in time before your psychotic stepmother pulls the plug on your poor father for all his money? So what if you don't make it in time? At least you had the journey, and that's what counts. And where are we journeying, guys? We're journeying far and wide on this podcast. We're journeying to great heights, we're journeying to great lengths, and we're journeying to all things geometrical. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by geometrical? You don't know? I feel as though it's fairly obvious. No, so I'm going to be honest with you. I do this thing sometimes when I'm thinking about other things where I just start stalling and spewing words and I don't realize it. And I just did that. So if the last minute or so was pure nonsense, I'm ADD, guys, and it's really late. So all that Adderall is out of my system. This is really the Adderall podcast because I'm just going left and right. We're just hitting a ball. Let's exploit it. Why try and hide it? Let's go every fucking direction. I'll just speak from the heart. You know what else I'm thinking? I'm wondering if I should take a break. I'm wondering, hey, is maybe a break a good idea? Is maybe it time to think? But then I'm also like, but that'll just add 3 minutes to this whole thing. And I'm kind of, it's not that I don't like doing this, but mostly I want to go to bed. And I've got a little bit of a drive, 25 minutes. And then I've got to go upstairs and like blah, blah. And I got to shower too, man. It's going to be so late. I'm going to have to sleep in tomorrow, but that's okay because I'm here late now, right? Where are we at on time? We're rolling. We're moving, guys. What do people talk about for a full podcast, I mean, how do they do this week to week? Wait a minute, I'm one of those guys. Okay, I figured it out. So I need to get two of my friends, Tyler and Sean. Okay, never mind. I just realized that's exactly what I don't have at my disposal. I don't have anybody. I'm all alone. That's the theme. That's the overarching narrative. It's that I've got nobody, and we all do. Have we learned to accept it? I haven't. Have we learned to accept that life is meaningless and that we'll all be forgotten and eventually the earth is going to explode anyway? I think I have. And that, my friends, is poggers. Speaking of poggers, we're going to take a quick poggers break. And when we get back, we are going to be talking about all things spiders, arachnids, you name it. Maybe we'll even have on, well, I've said too much, guys, but you'll see. It'll be absolutely poggers. Anyway, guys, listen, I would love to stay in chat, but I know you miss Sean, so I've got a special treat for everybody. Here is our first ever test podcast. Hopefully it gets, edited nicely, well back together, because we didn't know how to EQ then, and it definitely is not. But alas, it was us testing the mics and testing the format, and we did an interview, me and Sean. It was in our college dorm because this was a long time ago, and we interviewed our friend, our old fact checker Colin, but we were playing him and his girlfriend Morgan, and because we didn't have cameras rolling, we just played a bunch of characters, and it's pretty poggers. Here you go. Enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Dave here. We don't have that podcast clip, so I'm gonna end it. Sorry for the mistake. We will try and get that little clip up for you guys at some point because now we piqued your interest and ruined your day. Sorry about that, love you all. And good night or good morning, or I guess have a nice rest of your day.